we're now on to suburbs under $800,000.
Yeah, as of, where are we? May 24, okay?
May, June, probably, yeah.
Somewhere there.
Wow. When you sent this to me, I'm glad I was sitting down because I was like, Jesus H. Christ, wow. This is the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde from Evolution House and Lawn Specialists and Catherine Smith from Build Bright Builder Brokers.
If you guys are looking to build in WA or simply curious to see what's going on in building, you guys are in the right place. We're here to give insight with professionals in the game, coming to give the inside scoop. Episodes are uploaded weekly, so don't worry, we don't skip a beat and you won't either. Like, share, subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde.
And Catherine Smith, good morning.
Hi, ready to go?
I'm ready. What are we talking about?
Well, let's talk about our ever popular but suburbs under a certain amount of dollars, and we're now on to suburbs under $800,000.
Yeah, as of, where are we? May 24, okay?
May, June, probably, yeah.
Somewhere there.
Wow.
When
you sent this to me, I'm glad I was sitting down because I was like, Jesus H. Christ, wow. When did that happen?
I know.
When did that happen?
You'll be actually surprised which suburbs we've chosen as well, you know?
I was like, what? I was like, well, the second one, I was like, yeah, I can imagine because of that.
Yeah.
That's the growth.
The second one, yeah. Well, Wild Dog. That's come out of nowhere.
I remember doing. No, I'm excited. It's exciting. I like this. We get a lot of traction on this when people like this sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
All right, so let's go. First suburb area off the shot.
Hot spots under 800. Sit down, shush, and listen for the next 15.
You've got a lot of guys fired up right there. You've been dominant on them. We've got discrepancies on how we pronounce this, so I'm going to call it Mandogalup, and you're going to say?
I say Mandogalup, but I put an N in there. I don't know why. But my argument is town planning need to come up with easier names for suburbs, okay? It's not our fault that you're coming up with Coburn.
It's essentially East Hamilton.
What? Hammond Park?
It's East Hammond Park.
Yes. It's basically,
Mandogalup.
Okay, we are talking about the suburb of Mandogalup. If you haven't heard it, it is a new upcoming area,
We claimed
okay?
land a few years ago.
Correct. It is essentially Success, Hammond Park, Mandogalup, freeway. So on the other side of that is you have your Wanda, your Anketel and what have you. So
Beachside.
Absolutely. Mandogalup is booming is the word I would use in terms of if I had under 800 grey, Mandogalup would absolutely be up there. So
2 huge estates down there, 2 big estates.
By big land developers as well, right?
So Cube, probably
absolutely,
second or third biggest one. And then we've got Florence, which is Satterley, which is now the number 1.
Yeah, Satterley, big dogs.
Yeah, I think they just overtook in the market share from Stocklands, but they did by LWP, so therefore.
True. Yeah.
Anyway,
now,
it's a different podcast.
What is exciting about Mandogalup is its proximity to the naval base. Now, obviously, there is expansion happening there, so there is a huge demand to have land released around that pocket to obviously have rentals availability for, the expansion coming up over the next 7 years, but also being the proximity that it is along the freeway and sort of the extension from Hammond Park and Success, it is just makes sense sort of like proximity-wise why that has boomed so much. Now, what's been really great is town planning have really released the blocks quite quickly there. So the subdivision, although it is a new suburb, the subdivisions come up really quickly. Now, when I do my research on what suburbs we're going to talk about, I always look at what we call like our REWA maps, which is Real Estate of WA, our maps. So sort of the median house prices in the area. Now, I was actually looking at a map from 2020 to see the growth in certain areas. Now, Mandogalup in 2020 actually didn't have any stats because it was so underdeveloped that stats weren't actually available, which is really funny, And I'm doing basically for this podcast sort of like a 6-month comparison in the market. So September 2023, because we get them every 6 months, basically, the maps, okay? So September 2023, the median house price in Mandogalup was $650, okay? Which actually, to be fair, pretty high, okay, end of last year. Now, obviously the latest map that we're going on is March 2024, and it has jumped up to $708,000 for Mandogalup. So from $650 to $708,000 in 6 months, the median house price has gone. right, for Mandogalup. That's the demand that's happening there.
I'll tell you, I know,
Now, I'm not a maths wizard, but I think it's 58 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, even from that 650 in September 23, it's jumped up about 150k to 100k, because I remember doing deals in there at the start when me and you were at the other broker firm, and they were way, way low. We were doing 455, and they were like, I'm not paying that for now that's like a standard rate. So I'm telling you that some people bought in there 2 years ago and they're probably sitting 250k worth of equity, probably more now. Wow.
Yeah. But what's even more amazing is a 4x2 median house price is 725. All right. 725 for Mandogalup. I know you actually
just 75 grand.
You can't write this. So the
75 grand. It's went up 75 grand since that.
Yeah, well, that's median all over. So that takes in 3 bedrooms and stuff like that. But yeah, 6 months. So you're making 10 grand a month at this point. You know, it is a get in, best dress, first dress kind of energy. Absolutely, yeah.
Location is fantastic. You spoke about it, but there's I don't know, it's attached to Auburn Grove, or are they putting their own? I can't remember now. They've either got Auburn Grove train station, or they're putting another train station in for the growth of it. I think that's a couple of years away.
Oh yeah, it'll be in planning for sure.
It's huge, man. It's massive. And the Apsley estate, they spent they've got a $3-4 million playground in there as well.
It's actually really nice. It's a really beautiful family suburb, but it's also really hot for investors just in terms of where it sits location-wise between the infrastructure of the city, but also the Navy.
The amazing way you get in it, it's really easy access, but it's almost secluded the way you access it without one road in. It's really well designed. I'll give them. And then Florence just sits at the back of it.
And of course, being on beachside from the freeway is obviously desirable as well. So.
And the sales office will become a coffee shop.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Because it's important to have good coffee.
I like coffee, yeah. We'll get one after this, okay?
Absolutely.
In terms of that, because it's such a new suburb, the stats are actually relatively new. Now, what's surprising, I always like to talk about vacancy rates for rentals. I actually cannot get any because there is no vacancies. Literally, as soon as there is, you go on realestate.com. Honestly, if you're doing this at home, go realestate.com, type in Mandogalup rentals. There literally will be 1 or 2 rents. That's it.
Yep.
There's absolutely no stock. Everything is 700 plus a week to rent, 3 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms when they come up. But there's nothing. There's nothing. You know what I mean?
It's very much a family area with the way they set it up. I would say it's very family.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great suburb.
Now,
good to get into. In
terms of what's been happening the last 18 months, let's talk about the suburbs around it. Hammond Park's up 27%, Auburn Grove's up 24%. So that's sort of what's happening around that whole pocket the last 18 months. And then Mandogalup is obviously skyrocketed. So that's obviously under the 800 grand mark because, it's just really shockingly boomed.
And you literally flip over this other side of the freeway and you've got all those other areas you were speaking about that are flying up as well. And they're not overly cheap. I think it all started up a little bit further north at Kilea, Cara, going down that, and then it's just came right the way down, right? So
I think nothing's cheap anymore, and I think we need to start charging more. So
I think so. Yeah. Plus, it's got a Costco near it.
Yeah, so Costco is actually coming in Anchortel. That's been approved, which is basically just.
Costco's there.
Yeah, it's coming.
No, it's already there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's been there for 2 years.
No, Costco's near the freeway. Near the airport.
There's another one on Casuarina.
Is it?
Yeah, I go there
Oh, stop. I thought it was coming.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, God. I'm not a Costco girly, I'll be honest.
What?
I know.
We have to have a podcast on why you don't use Costco's. You've got kids, right?
Yeah, but I don't like the volume.
Like toilet rolls. You must go through.
Now, why do I need 500 toilet rolls?
60. I think we're going off topic here.
We'll talk about it.
We should talk about this more. I'm offended. I'm actually offended you don't like Costco. Plus, fuel's really cheap.
No. I've been twice. I bought 3 things. I don't need 65 croissants. I don't understand the concept. You know what I mean?
Anyway, we'll move on. Right?
Okay, let's talk about our next suburb. Now, this one was a shocker, but also not a shocker. You know what I mean? But it's shocking what we're talking about numbers-wise. Now, this building under 800 grand now has the criteria of Southern River. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it just blew my mind when you sent me that.
So Southern River is essentially a very popular, well-known suburb, I would say, in Perth. It is in the sort of the southeast corridor, basically next to Harrisdale, Canning Vale, Piara Waters.
Forestdale, all that kind of in that area, right?
Yeah. Let's talk stats. So we're going through our median house prices for the last 6 months. September 23. Okay, median house price was $647,000 for Southern River.
Even
Okay.
that price surprised me in September because of its Southern River. It's just it's a good suburb. But it's just a suburb, if that makes sense.
It's almost okay. If you're not from Perth, basically Southern River is almost positioned as an entry price point for young families, okay, which has now changed quite quickly and quite rapidly. So 647 was the median house price for Southern River, September 23. March 24, almost 100 grand. Oh, actually it is 100 grand, 749.
Wow.
So 100 grand swing in a median house price for Southern River in 6 months.
That's crazy.
It's concerning that we actually boomed so quickly, so rapidly.
It's blowing my mind here on this one because with Southern River, it's better now, but it wasn't the easiest suburb to get to because it's behind a few suburbs. You've got to really I get Armadale Road and that's coming, but still not the easiest suburb to like access like a Mandogalup. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's
essentially what it was an entry price point family area, right? Well, on top of that, I had a client that built there and they got their keys end of last year. So they would have signed up 22 for 550, 4x2 with the theatre. So they got their keys in hand for that price last year and now we're at 750.
Wow.
Yeah. Obviously I didn't expect that, but I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. But I'm happy for them.
It's a great location, great little suburb. It's just a good suburb. It's like there's not loads to talk about with it. It's just a good suburb, good family suburb, good rentals, all the whole lot, right?
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. The perception of Southern River, it is a nice, good suburb, and that is why the demand has gone so high. 4x2 there, the median is, I know you're laughing, it's 791,000 now for a 4x2. I know, take a moment.
I don't know what to say anymore.
What you need to say is you need to get more money because these prices, I've lost their damn mind. Yeah, 791 for a 4x2 Southern River. Who would have thought? Median house price rental 770 a week. Okay, and that is including 3 bedrooms as well as a median.
Yeah. So and then we're looking here. What the 4x2 is average price is what $791,000.
Yeah,
that's 791. That's $9,000 short of 800K.
Yeah.
What the actual F? I'm not going to swear, but I'm so close to swearing. Wow.
Yeah, it is. When I was looking into Southern River, it is definitely changed in the last couple of
bonkers.
Well, last 6 months even, but yeah, definitely the last year. So people that bought there definitely capitalize as much as they can. Rental growth obviously has increased as well, 27% in the last 12 months there. Obviously that reflects on the median rental price there at $770. And statistically, it's only 8 days on the market. So even the established market is just churning and burning right through that. So it's just super hot. I think everyone is really wanting those nice family-orientated areas, relatively safe, relatively normal society, that if it makes sense, nice schools that are established. In terms of building, there's actually not a lot available now, but what's happening is the established market, as we said, is 8 days on the market, so everyone's just trying to get whatever they can and then go from there.
With Southern River, it's about the suburbs around it, the Harrisdales, the Hilberts, the Haines, the Forestdales, all of them, because Piara Waters is pretty much gone as well now, right?
Correct, yeah.
But all of them, and even them, you're probably looking at 650 packages for out there as well now, right? It's like Mahala, Stay in Forestdale, your
high sixes, yeah.
Well, I know that's the case because I've been looking at them to do deals, so yeah. That blew my mind. I'm not often I'm flabbergasted by stuff like that, but that's crazy.
Yeah. So who would have thought Southern River would be in our 800 podcast? But here we are.
I tell you what we'll do now is we'll go up north because we don't often venture up there because we're both Southies, right?
We will bring snacks. Let's go.
Let's go. We're
going up.
So I'm going to say the word, but I roll my R's. So here we go. Carramar.
Carramar. Now Carramar.
Carramar.
It's not caramel, it's Carramar. Now Carramar is east of Joondalup. Most people know Joondalup as sort of a major suburb hub up in the northern pocket, sort of kind of near the end of the freeway before the extension. Yeah. Carramar is basically a little bit east of that and very much sort of next to Bankshire Grove, which is quite popular for building and stuff like that. So it's this neighbouring suburb.
Carramar would have been like Hammond Park a few years ago, quite an entry level, cheaper sort of to get in, and then again, boom, here we go. Kind
of like, everywhere in Perth, let's be honest. What's exciting about Carramar is a few things. Let's touch on that. So what I like about Carramar is the block sizes. They are on the bigger end, more the 500, 600 square meters, what you sort of people are sort of moving towards there is you're getting a little bit more bigger lots, a bit more family home. It is a little bit a mix between rural and, sort of that Perth CBD blend. So you do get sort of, the farmland still out there and what have you, which will be probably changing over the next couple of years as any sort of city expansion goes. But this one has that really nice blend. It has those bigger blocks, very similar to a Byford, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's sort of the appeal of it. But what the appeal of it, of course, is its proximity to the beach. So if you look where we are on the map, which we will clip in here behind me, but what we'll do is basically it's like 10 minutes to the beach. Now, of course, you see the ones that are on the beach, which is sort of Burns Beach, Mindarie. To get in there, you need $1 million plus, okay? But they are literally 5-10 minutes away. These $1 million plus suburbs. Carramar is obviously just a little bit more inland. And the entry point is still reasonably good considering its neighbouring suburbs. That's sort of how I would swing that, right? Yep. So in terms of let's go stats, September, Carramar 2023, the median house price there was $643, which actually is pretty reasonable, I would actually say, in terms of where it is in proximity to its neighbouring suburbs, you know. Yeah. And now March 2024, 6 months after, it's now at 713. So again, what's that, 65 grand in terms of the last 6 months in terms of median house price. 4-bedroom there, you're looking 750,000 as a median house price point, which again, it is high, but I actually think it's good value for money because you're getting the larger blocks that you wouldn't be able to get in, say, like a Mindarie or Burns Beach, particularly for that price point. You know what I mean?
And they'll hold better. If there's ever a downfall, they'll hold better than the kind of smaller blocks, right?
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Again, Carramar is hot, 7 days on market for the established market in terms of sales and what have you. Yeah, it's one that is a little bit overlooked, but because as you guys probably know, Joondalup is sort of that major hub where you've got your big shopping centre there, you've got, your little hospitals, medical centres, what else is there? All those sort of amenities.
HBF Arena, whatever it is, you've got all those different arenas. It's you can literally live up there.
So it's got obviously the university, one of the major universities. So
there's colleges up there.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of I guess its own little
services.
Its own little infrastructure happening there. So being just off that sort of makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Sanagra is also off that next to Ashby. Mm-hmm. That's having a lot of land releases coming up and clearing land. Definitely. Carramar will be the one coming up from that. But Carramar obviously has that appeal of having those bigger blocks, bigger family homes, but obviously 10 minutes from the beach. So it's almost this perfect blend of rural, city, CBD life, Yeah.
And we're starting to see that. I think you're starting to get that point now, especially with those all three of those suburbs, very family orientated.
Yes.
As you see, not as much rentals in that area. There are more people buy the
owner occupiers,
who've got the money to do that. That's definitely relevant. But just to show you, those suburbs, have a look at them. Have a look at the map and the suburbs that are growing. These will happen to these other suburbs, your Byfords and all that. Well, maybe not as big a growth as that, but they're going to have some serious growth. Now, these are the suburbs that are happening. The Baldivises, the Lakelands going down south, the Halls Heads, the Mandras, they're going to see the growth. That's where I think the big money's going to be. And they've got the amenities and the stuff around there to support it,
Yeah, so absolutely.
Huge.
Alrighty. So let's wrap it up. Mandogalup, Southern River.
Jeez.
And Carramar. So there are 3 hotspots under 800 grand in Perth.
I suppose a couple of questions for
and it'll be interesting when the next map comes up for September 2024. Yeah. We'll do a little comparable.
Maybe touch back on it. Yeah. I'd like to know as well from you guys, are we finding this useful? Do you want us to do the under 900k? Or alternatively, tell us 2 or 3 suburbs that you want to know more about and we'll give you our honest expert opinion on what we think and what we think is going to happen. We're happy to go and answer questions on a podcast and do it that way. Whatever you want, guys, we're here to service and help you guys and educate and help. As always, like, share, subscribe, and we'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. This is the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde from Evolution House and Land Specialists and Catherine Smith from Build Bright Builder Brokers.
If you guys are looking to build in WA or simply curious to see what's going on in building, you guys are in the right place. We're here to give insight with professionals in the game, coming to give the inside scoop. Episodes are uploaded weekly, so don't worry, we don't skip a beat and you won't either. Like, share, subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's go.